All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's Midweek Movers for February 17th, 2021. Today I will, oops, sorry about that. All right, today I will be covering the flush that we just got in some of the growth stocks. I have been trading a little bit more conservatively lately, just because all the stocks that have been breaking out, they've been doing so not really from the strongest bases. And when that happens, you do want to chase up the momentum because you can make money on those breakouts, but been trading very defensively. So after we go through the breakout watch list for the rest of the week, I'll quickly just cover how I'm trading defensively because I still want to be trading in this environment, but want to make sure for the first goal is protecting my profit. After that, we got a couple stocks that you guys wanted to see on StockTwits and Twitter, so I'll share that list in a little bit. But if this is your first time tuning in to Stock Tricks with Nick, my name is Nick. I do this live stream either on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how the week is playing out. I put a breakout watch list on Sunday morning each week. Those stocks have breakout potential in the coming week. They're all 150% above their 52-week low. All in strong uptrends that have consolidated some amount. I also do a trading recap on Friday covering how the watch list from today, how the watch list from Sunday perform, and then how my own trading performs. So that's a good time for me to just kind of reflect on the good things that I've done trading this week, the bad things that I did, and it really helps that I walk through the mistakes that I made because not only does it help me because I'm going through another iteration of reliving those mistakes, but it also helps you guys to avoid those mistakes. With that said, if you enjoy stock trading content, please subscribe to the channel and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. All right, quick disclaimer. Anything that I say is not financial or trading advice. This is all for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence while trading. Trading comes with financial risk. Just wanted to cover really quickly my current holdings. I know someone on StockTwits asked me if I could add this to the live stream. So here is what I have. Right now I'm about 35% invested, but about 10% of, well, I guess a third of that is with SQQQ, which is basically a short hedge on the market. So right now I'm close to net even, not trying to get too aggressive because I mean the stocks were extended. I was taking some profit on the way up, booked really great profits the last week or so. So until we get a pullback, until we get some bases setting up for stronger breakouts, I'll be trading a little bit more quickly and more defensively. So not a ton of positions, not large position sizes on any of these, but this is what I am still holding after I got stopped out of a few trades today. All right, so the stock lineup for today, we got the breakout watch list. I'm not going to say every one of these, but we'll go over these in detail. Here are the stocks that I got requested from you guys from StockTwits and Twitter. So if you don't see your stock on here that you want me to cover, leave them in the chat, and we'll get to that after we cover all of these guys. So really want to get the chat going. That's always the best part of this along the way, not just for stocks you want to cover, but if any questions that you have about my trading style, the risk management, how I'm finding these stocks, anything like that, let me know in the chat and I'll help you guys out. All right, let's jump to the charts then. All right, first we have BEAM, not to be confused with BEEM, which I just traded a couple days ago. But this, we're always looking for stocks in very strong uptrends. So we have the 200-day, the 50-day, the 20, and the 8-day exponential, all in the right order. What day is this? January 27th had a long lower wick here. It's hard to see on the screen, but this shakes out everyone that was in the trade, even kind of during this first pullback. So that shook the deck clean. Everyone who stayed in the trade had stop losses even lower than this point. So really strong hands there. Made a move out on volume as volume increased and has pulled back on lower volume there. Today, it did one of the things that I like the most. We undercut the previous lows during the pullback. So you can see just through here, the low, let's see, $99, undercut the $100, 135 low from February 12th. And we rallied up and closed. This is showing after hours. So let's see, 106. Yeah, we still probably closed right around the high of the day. Um, with that being said, we undercut the 20-day and we closed over that, and we're over this the main part of this volume shelf here. So not much upward resistance when we're trying to make a move higher. So this is the volume profile. This on the right here, this just shows the volume of shares traded. So typically, if I'm trading a stock, I don't want to see high volume bars up here, because if we bounce up, there's going to be a lot of traders stuck higher that are going to sell off into that strength. So the fact that we only had a couple quick peaks above the current price means that if this does get going, there's not going to be much resistance up top. So I'll be looking for a break over yesterday's high of 109.25 as a possible buy point. That's BEAM. Next we have CDMO. This one's definitely a thinner traded name, but again, we have the 250.28 on the right order. Let's see, what is this up? So in 46 bars divided by 5, so in about 9 weeks, up 120%. Let's see if we can get a high type flag. Yeah, just about. So really strong move up, pullback of only 11%. So very tight pullback so far. We got a nice long lower wick today when early on in the day everything was selling off, and then we did hit a lot of buyers. Buyers stepped in, so overall, I'm hoping kind of the market trades sideways a little bit just so we can build out some better bases. But if it just keeps ripping, I want to be able to jump back in and take some trades. So that's why we're going through this watch list right now. So shook out under yesterday's low. Let's see, 1710, 1714. Didn't quite take out these other lows. That would have been ideal if we did that. But just a break. See, this is where I use volume shelf. I'm going to use a break over, what would that have been? Thursday's high of 1830 as a possible buy point there. CDMO. Next we have CLF, and this was on the breakout watch list going into the week that I put out. I actually put that out on Monday this week just because we had the shortened trading week, no trading on Monday. But this flagged out really well. You could see it was coming out over this pivot point, which had what Leif Sreda talks about, the confluence of indicators, where if you could get a diagonal resistance to line up with a flat top pivot point, then you have two different types of systems buying at the same point, and you could get a higher probability breakout. And I wouldn't call this a breakout, only up 3.4% on the day, but up 3.4% while the rest of the market was pulling back. So great sense of a relative strength. So down here you have the relative strength compared to QQQ. You can see that's coming up a little bit better, and looks like it's coming out here. So you could buy just with a break of today's high if we open within the range. That's the only way I'm taking this trade, but has that nice pattern where it pulled back, allowed sellers a reason to leave to get out, the short-term traders, rallied, and then tightened up in this range. You can see average true range ATR measuring those daily bars got tighter and tighter through here before a little bit of a move today. Next we have FRSX. And if you guys enjoy the stream, please leave a like. That really helps out with the algorithm for it to push out to new traders as well. So FRSX, this is a trade that I took. I think I took on this squat day where we were coming over this pivot, got out, bought, and it immediately reversed, and I got out of the trade for 4%, 5% loss. I think that was it. I'd have to check, but that was probably the trade that I made. Since then, we moved out even stronger. Let's see, what was that? 30% or so move. pulled back on extremely light volume. So in trading, there's no absolutes. If this isn't your first time on the stream, you've heard me say this 100 times. All we're trying to do with trading is push as much probability to our side as possible and then apply strict risk management and take the trade. So we want to have stops 5 to 7% from our entry, always keeping those losses small. And we want the highest probability trade. So with this one, is pulled back on extremely low volume. The only people getting out with this, let's see, 25% pullback, short-term traders. As you can see on the way up, these very, very large volume bars are always on the extension days, which is a great thing to see. Now we're kind of a cup and handle. Pierced the 20-day, came back up, closed above it. Still down 4.5% today, but on lower volume again. What I would be looking for is just a quick break over the high from today. That would also clear the 8-day exponential moving average. You could wait for this kind of 2-day pivot here, or kind of split up your buy order, put a test, like a pilot position on, and then add to it if it's breaking over Tuesday's high. But I'll be looking for kind of a quick entry, but with lower position size if we can break over the high from today. Because this was a name that, I mean, it's doing all the right things, has that tennis ball action that Mark Minervini talks about, and very, very light volume as it pulled back. So FRSX. Next we have FUBO, FUBO. This is one that's was on the breakout watch list as well. Obviously, this went insane, up 130%. I think this was 140% move, and then came crashing down to the 20-day or 50-day moving average. And after a move like this, typically the first couple moves get sold off. So I did not take this trade, but I took the second one in here. So after we had a second pullback, smaller magnitude, sold some into strength into here. But now we have kind of this giant cup and handle forming, and you see really light volume in this handle. So basically after it topped off here, from this day on, pulled back 20% or so, but on extremely light volume. Average true range is getting tighter and tighter. People are disagreeing over the price less. So when a big buyer does step in and people have been just agreeing on the price, you're going to see a quick move higher. So today held up great, up 6% on a really ugly day. Not a really ugly day. We're so used to the green days that we've been getting, but an ugly-ish day on the market for the growth stocks. That this is definitely one to watch. You see relative strength ticked up a little bit. Slightly less volume than yesterday's sell-off, but what I would be looking for is a break over yesterday's high, 47.28 as a possible buy point. That's FUBO. KVHI is next. This is one that I probably not going to be the quickest mover, but the volume is what interested me. Really high volume on the way out. Well, high relative volume. Let me take that a step back. This is a very thinly traded name, so not one to put a large position size on, but did get a lot of volume coming through here. Again, relative volume. Just a quick pullback to the 8-day exponential, and then this started to tighten up. You see the ATR tightening up. Low of the day bounce at the 8-day, and now we just have a possible buy point at the break over yesterday's high, 15.29. Again, thinly traded name. Now I want to put a ton of size on if I take it, but quality pattern that's holding up well. Next we have LE. So again, strong uptrend, 250.28, all doing the right things. Had a flush day on the 10th where we pulled back under the lows of the pullback. Didn't quite get under the lows of this like mini cup here. That would have been ideal, but this takes out a lot of traders that moved their stops up to probably their entries. I'm trying to think if I traded this. I don't think so. Since then, just traded sideways on very, very light volume. ATR coming in, relative strength going out, doing all the right things for a possible buy. And then today, let's see, low 30.07, low 30.20. So we undercut yesterday's low. Basically, from all the lows from this move higher. So I'll just be looking for a break over yesterday's high of 31.93 as a possible buy point for LE. All right, MNSO. This is an IPO moving up a little bit. This kind of has the chart of CRSR before it really popped off. So want to keep an eye on this. Very thin, or not very thin, but thinly traded name. Not as much volume to it. And with IPOs, you have to act a little bit quicker. So what I'm seeing here is a very quick cup and handle. You got that move. There's your little handle. Had lower highs, lower lows today, but bounced at the 8-day. So just looking for a break. I'd be a little bit quicker to take this. So probably a break over $35. The high from February 10th is $34.99. So just a break over that high point should get the party going there. So that's MNSO. NGMS is next. Another very thinly traded name, but an IPO that's kind of working on the right side of the base here. You do see some upticks in volume on green days after it kind of based out here, and a nice flush today where we undercut many of the previous lows, rallied, closed right at the high of the day, and on an increase in volume. But that's only 158,000 shares traded, so very thin traded name. Next, we have one that has a little bit more liquidity to it, PENN National Gaming. This is one that I've been trying to get a hold of, and every time it sets up to break out, it does a quick check back, and it's been doing so during situations where I've been trading more defensively than usual, so moving my stops up to entry a little bit quicker. Hopefully, we can get this trade right this time. Just a break over yesterday's high, 120.55 is a possible buy point. We did have a nice flush to the 20-day. That bounced and rallied, closed at the high of the day today. One concerning thing is the large volume sell-off here. Some of that might have been getting it bid back up because it has a longer, lower wick, but even that, all the rest of the bars, the volume bars are high or on green days, so looking pretty good here. Great relative strength, looking strong. That's PENN National Gaming. Let's see, Dan, here we go with PLL. So you asked that question. This one I'm kind of frustrated with because I'm trading very defensively right now. This is one that I took the trade on this candle. We pulled back and it looked like it was just ready to go. And then today we flushed all the way down. I had moved my stop right to my entry point, so got stopped out by, man, maybe 1% or so today before it rallied back up, closed over the 8-day, and did so on lower volume. So if the market is completely fine in a strong uptrend, has many bases that stocks are breaking out of, and doesn't feel as exuberant, there's no way I would have moved my stop this quickly up to my entry. But because of all the market factors, I was trading a little bit more defensively. And I mean, I just took the trade. I took some off into profit before, so I made money on the trade, but I have to protect my initial capital first. And when we get some shakiness in the market, I want to size down and be a little bit cautious. On the flip side now, after we get this kind of reversal bar, ideally we get a little bit more, a couple of days to tighten up because this ATR is elevated, the average true range. So any price tightening would be really nice. But if we could just break over yesterday's high, 62.71, that could be a possible buy point there. Ideally, this flags out a little bit more though. It's PLL. And last but not least, UNFI. This is one, let's see, 100% move up, pullback of 24%, so qualifies for that high tide flag. And then this has flagged out really nicely. Had a move up here. What was it off the lows? 17% off the lows, then pulled back again. Now is running right at that 20-day simple moving average. we pulled back, and let's see, 27.14. Yeah, so we did close above the 20-day. Volume's getting very, very light as it kind of reaches the 20-day and the 8-day collide. These types of turns are one of my favorite plays, so I'll just be looking for a break over 28.02, yesterday's high, as a possible buy point here. This might be one where you can get that confluence of indicators as well. So diagonal resistance and diagonal resistance and kind of that flat top. You'd hit the diagonal first, but since two types of traders are looking at it this way, you're more likely to get buyers stepping in if we can break over 28. All right, so that is the breakout watch list, or the 12 stocks that I'm watching for the rest of the week. Now let's go over what you guys wanted to see on Stock Twits and Twitter. Make sure you guys follow me on there. It's Stock Tricks with Nick on Stock Twits and Stock Trick Nick on Twitter. All right, first we have CELH, Celsius. Can't pronounce that today. I had this on my. I don't know if I had this on my breakout watch list, but after yesterday's candle where it punctured the 8-day, punctured the 20, and then ran back up into the close, this was going to be on my buy list if we could break over yesterday's high. Unfortunately, we did not get to do that. We just set lower lows, lower highs today, down 4.8%. Did so on lighter volume, so I mean, this is a nice long lower wick, so maybe this is going to be a turning point here. I might keep my like trade idea just with the break over 65 through here, just because if we do get going, it should move much more than just the $65. And I want it to kind of prove itself. We're seeing some bids come in at the low of the day to bounce it up, but I want it to prove itself a little bit more. But definitely one to keep on a general watch list because you got the 250, 28 all in the right order. So that's CELH. Next we have Verizon. So one of my trading rules is to, as a swing trader, right? So I'm always either trying to keep my money out of the market, because when it's out of the market, there's no risk in my account. It's not going to lose any money. So if I'm going to risk the money, I want to have as much probability on my side as possible and momentum on the name already. What that boils down to is I don't trade stocks under their 50-day moving average. I don't trade stocks whose 200-day moving average is in a downtrend. I don't buy stocks that have already extended past a breakout point. I'll let those kind of pull back and flag out before a possible buy point. And so with this one, with Verizon, it's under the 50-day. The 200-day is now in a downtrend. This is pulling back, and it did bounce today 5%, but what kind of move is 5% when you're just running into more resistance over here? So I'm always going to be trying to trade the strongest growth names, and this is not it. Likely see some selling pressure around the 200-day simple moving average, but if it does get going over that, then you could see, let's see. I mean, even that's only a 6% run to the next volume shelf. So not a trade that I would personally take. Doesn't fit my trading strategy. It doesn't mean you can't make money on it. And your risk, the way you handle risk is different than me. But with this trading channel, we're focusing on strongest stocks getting stronger. So with that, we got AMD next. This is one that has just been really basing out kind of forever. I did take a trade in here. Where was it? There was an inside day that set up the trade on this candle. So that was my buy point there. Sold some into strength. I don't know. It wasn't a big winner. It was like 10%, 12%. But even after that, just kind of lower highs, lower lows continuously. Now we're under the 50-day. We're under this volume shelf. Relative strength has been in a downtrend. So one thing that I'm asking myself with these like really long bases, you could point to like Amazon, what's another one? Facebook. If the market's been so hot since kind of mid-December. What is taking these stocks so long? So a little bit confused about that, and I'm always trying to trade the strongest stocks, so why focus on a name that's not showing strength here? I guess one thing to point to, this move came on a little bit higher volume, while the last two pullback days have come on slightly less volume, but not something that I'm looking to trade personally. That's AMD. Next we have CRSR. This this one's been very very frustrating, to say the least. I've taken a couple trades in here, gotten stops at entries, taken some minor losses. Had a really nice gain when it just went all the way up here. Didn't get the full move, obviously, as I'm always selling some into strength, but it's been basing out. Had this random, what kind of move was that? The open lower ran 33%, then squatted 17%. That's choppy action. Similar thing. This was earnings, right? Yeah, earnings kind of selling off now. I don't know. So something with this chart. It's been basing out for too long for me. Bounced at the 50-day. I mean, maybe you have a longer term approach to it, and you got in maybe lower and you've held this entire time, but want this to at least like tighten up before going. Tighten up both volume and price as well. So we'll see. CRSR, SAVA. That is an interesting move. Let's see, what are we off the highs? Yeah, so once you get more than a 25% pullback off the highs, unless it's like a really drastic change in volume where it's a ton of volume on the way out, absolutely no volume on the way back down, you typically need at least 8 weeks to build out a base before a breakout actually holds and makes new highs. So going back to FUBO really quick. So when this broke out and then flushed 65%, you did have a move that like you could have traded this if that was your goal to get in and sell quick your entire position. But you're more likely to get sold off again when you have a pullback over 60 or over 40%. What was I on? SAVA. So with this, I'll probably stay away from this until it like truly bases out. Even if it gets going, you have a lot of traders stuck in this range through here. So, I mean, you can have 18% or so until the main part of that volume shelf starts. So the idea behind the volume shelf is traders got in at these higher prices, right? Probably retail traders. When the stock moves back up to those prices, they have the opportunity to get out at a break-even price or for a smaller loss. And I'm not going to say most of the time, but a lot of the time they'll take that opportunity so they don't have to say, "Oh, I was wrong on the trade." Instead of sticking with your strict risk management, 5%, 7% stop losses, whatever you trade with, they just held through the pullback because stocks only go up, and once it does go up to their position, they're more likely to sell at break even. So this one probably going to need some time. I do like the low volume in the like after it pulled back to the 8-day, but I don't know. For me, I'm going to give this time. Let's go BNGO. This is one that I am currently in. Actually, this might have been a good example of what I was talking about. Let's see. 32%, so a little bit over that 25% for the high tight flags, but it wasn't just a couple days down. It was, let's see, 13 bars, so about 3 weeks, not of a base, but kind of as it flagged out, and it did so on extremely light volume after 50 to 100% move, whatever. An incredible move. So kind of a confluence of indicators as well. I bought just on a break over the previous day's high here, which lined up with that diagonal resistance really well. and it came out on a ton of volume. So that was a perfect buy point. Sold some into strength, and now I have my stop at my entry here. So if it does completely collapse, I had a risk-free look at the trade, and I made some money on a partial position. Today, low volume, lower high, lower low, and closed in the upper half of the candle. So that's showing some good strength. I don't have a super large position on it because, again, I've been trading defensively the past week or so, but looks really strong overall. It's BNGO. Next we have FCEL. Yeah, this one starting to move lower. Let's see, 27% down now. Closed under the 20-day moving average. Not a ton of volume on the pullback. These sell-off bars look a little bit scary, but I mean, compared to the volume on the way up, not bad. So definitely one that I'll be watching for if it kind of bounces and then pulls back again to tighten up the price range a little bit. You see price relativity coming in, but the average true range, the measure of those daily bars, is still really high. So when you have that much volatility and you put on a new trade, you're more likely to get stopped out at 5%, 7% stop, whatever your stop is, just with a normal trading day volatility. So that's why I like to wait for a stock to pull back, to tighten up. So if a stock actually moves lower by 5%, 7%, and stops me out, it's more likely that that stock's going to continue moving lower than just a normal fluctuation on the day before going higher. So I don't trade just directly into pullbacks. I wait for a either a volume trigger on a breakout or a price range to tighten up, volume to tighten up, and then a possible buy point later on. But FCEL definitely one to watch for that kind of action. STIM, this is one that I got shaken out of an addition yesterday, and then the rest of my position today. I added yesterday when we came over this kind of false breakout on, that would have been Friday. We broke out over there with more volume, so I added to my position there. Then it came back in, stopped me out for the addition at 5%. I got in at a lower price. I forget where I got in at, but sold the rest at break even. So probably a, I don't know, 2% loss on the trade. Now very low volume pullback where we undercut many of the lows in this, I guess, the second pullback here. Did we, let's see, 1662, 1661. Look at that. That's beautiful. 1661 down 1 cent under the previous low here on February 8th. So with that in mind, definitely one that I will be watching. I should add that to my list. For a break over today's high, 1865. That's a possible buy point. Otherwise, if you want to use the same kind of price that I added with, 1964, that would get you over the main part of this volume shelf too. So less resistance up top. I like that shakeout. Really like that. Well, I hate it because it shook me out, but just because something shakes me out doesn't mean I'm not going to trade it again. I just, when things start getting bad, I take risk off and have no problem putting it back on if things start to firm up. Last from StockTwits, and then we'll get to all the questions that you guys have, is CWH. Let's see, zooming out here. Let's get a full picture. 200 days in an uptrend, 50-day, 28. What kind of move is this? 58% move. It's kind of forming a little cup and handle here. High volume, like fake breakouts, squatted. See, when you get bars like this or what we got with CTIM, that's just a lot of volatility in the market, and you don't have to trade every day. You don't have to trade with large size every day to be profitable in the long run. So when things get really volatile like this and only a certain number of trades are working for me, I like to bring my account risk down, move stops up to entry or higher, protect that capital. This was a good move today. Undercut the lows in the pullback, rallied back, closed over the 8-day and the 20-day. So possible buy point could just be breaking over yesterday's high, 38.89. But when you have a bar like this, we're talking probabilities, right? Lower probability that a breakout through like over that buy point is higher probability that that gets sold off. So lower probability of just a clean breakout and continuation with that. All right, let's get to some of the, well, I guess really quickly talking about defensive trading. So in a perfect world where we have stocks just moving out of bases, the market is pulled back, set up, and is going. Typically, I'll trade with 10% position size. So say I had, I don't know, a $40,000 account. Every trade I would put on would be $4,000, and then I'd have stops at 5 to 7%, depending on like where the trade is. But during this time, when the market's shaky, there's a lot of volatility. I got stopped out of a lot of trades today. I'm going to be basically cutting that position size in half, using 5% position size to enter trades, and then I'm going to let the market tell me whether or not it's time to get aggressive. Because if I put 5% down and then I get stopped out, that's a very small loss, because 5% stop loss on 5% position size, that's a quarter of 1% of my account that I'm risking for the trade. So while the market's shaky and volatile, I'm basically just putting out these test trades. Like, is this industry getting any money? Is this industry working? Is this type of setup working? The high type flag, the pure like base breakout, VCP pattern. So I really right now I'm just testing what's working out. I'm not trying to make a ton of money right now, because past couple of weeks I've made good money. Right now it's time to protect the money and then just do some due diligence. Another thing that I'll do is take profits quicker. So if a stock moves up one risk multiple or two risk multiples, I'll at least take 25% of the position off. Typically, I'll wait till two risk multiples. So if I have a 5% stop and a stock goes up 10%, that's 2 times my risk, my 5% risk. Then I'll take 25% off there, then let the trade go a little bit more. Now, if I get up 5% and I'm risking 5%, I'll probably take a little bit, just book some profit there. And just as the stock keeps moving up, I'll be quicker to take profit instead of trying to kind of hit a home run off the bat. And then the third thing that I do is I move my stop aggressively to my entry. So if a stock gets out one risk, I'll typically take, say I have 100 shares I'm trading, I'll typically move 50% of my stop, 50 shares, and put that stop loss at my entry. So if it does reverse now, so it was out 5%, now it's reversing, it'll stop me out of half the trade. Again, that's just keeping my losses as small as possible during this volatile time. So there's going to be a time where everything you touch with growth stocks are going to work, and they're going to break out and hold those breakouts, and we're going to get nice just sector rotation to keep the bull market going. But this last week or so, we haven't seen that. We've seen a lot of reversal bars, a lot of pullbacks on slightly higher volume, which is concerning. So I'm playing defense until the market gives us a sign to get on the offense. All right, that's defensive trading. Let's get into some of the stocks that you guys want to see. How high do you project SOS? Let's see. Interesting chart. So, I mean, I don't make any price predictions. I have no idea where a stock is going to go, and that's why I'm stress risk management so much. All I'm looking to do, add as much probability to my side as possible, and then apply that risk management for the trade. If someone comes on TV and goes, this is going to go to $15 on this day, they have no idea. So I don't make price predictions myself. With something like this, holding up great, 8% today, has really been moving. I know this has been a popular one, but I'm not buying into an extension like this. I'm waiting for a pullback, let it flag out, let some short-term traders take their profit, let the price range tighten up before putting on the trade. So sorry, I don't make any price predictions because they don't they don't have much credibility to them. FUTU, yeah, this one has been really strong. I need this to flag out a little bit more for me. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. If this can go like 7 or 8, and we can like really pull back on low volume, man, really low volume today, down 4% after a monster move. This has been one of those names that I've been trying to get in, but like every time it sets up for a really nice entry point, like right through here, this little cup handle, it gaps well over my buy point. So I haven't been able to find a good entry on this. Um, but we'll keep it on the watch list, see if we can find it later. Let's see, FCX. Little reversal there on high volume. A couple high volume selling bars on here. I guess that's earnings. But cup handle going. I mean that looks good. I'm not putting the trade on right now, but um, yeah, that could be getting a little wedged up too. I mean, it's doing all. It's if you're holding this stock at a lower price, it's doing all the right things that you want, minus this one kind of reversal day. Bounced at the 8-day too, so that wasn't even an aggressive pullback. Yeah, so I mean, it's doing everything that you would like. I'm just not going to be entering the stock here until we get kind of a pullback and setup. JD, I think this is about the same thing. Yeah, just higher highs, higher lows. We're above that upper Bollinger Band. Not a red candle close, but a doji there, meaning like buyers and sellers were disagreeing on the price, um, and no one really won that disagreement. When you have that over the upper Bollinger Band, not as bad right now because those are just getting to be expanded. But if you get this in like a fourth, fifth, sixth day of a stock breaking out, that's typically a time to take some profits and prepare for a pullback. Um, I mean, this could continue breaking out, but I don't want to be putting on a trade, especially here. The other one a little bit better because it was kind of near the brim of the cup and handle, but definitely not trying to put a new trade on here. It's JD, but I mean that looks really strong. MOGO. I did not take MOGO. Is this going to look perfect? Oh man. Let's measure this. Yeah, down 30%. Still had that turn. Oh man, look at that volume on this. Oh, it was this day that had the volume. Yeah, I am kicking myself. Did not catch this one. That would have been really nice. This second flag here, one, two. That's a little bit quick for my or for my strategy. It never tested the 8-day exponential until I guess today. Typically, I like a test. This could have worked. I don't know. It's a little quick for my system, and with the market being shaky, not something that I would have taken. But I mean, it obviously worked, up 19.6%. But you got to stick to what you're comfortable with. So um, wouldn't have been a trade that I took here. Down here would have been really nice as it made the turn, got out on volume. That would have been a really nice entry. MOGO. CRSA. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please leave a like and share this with any friends that are into trading. Is this an acquisition? Yeah, I don't find. Yeah, I don't think anything technical analysis wise is going to help with this one, so I'm just not going to cover that. When I don't have a strong opinion on something, I usually just will shake it off just because I don't want to give you guys bad information. HIMS bounced at the 20-day today. Let's see. Got all the moving averages in the right spot. Yeah, I'm not one to just buy at a moving average. I know some people are. And that probably would have been working pretty well in this market. I just wait for a break over like a previous day's high or something. So if this can trade sideways a little bit, even then, yeah, you do have a little bit more volume. I'd be watching 23.46, the high from the 16th. There's a possible buy point there. Let's see, PLL covered that. All right, let's see. Can you look at CBAT? Wow, that's at 8. Man, I remember trying to trade this. Where was it? I was trading like really cheap stocks. through here. Never quite made it. It was on my watch list, but then kind of dipped, and then just exploded, left without me. Pull back, going. So what I'm looking here, I see high volume on all these extension days, and then things get really quiet as it pulls back. So that's exactly what you want to see during this kind of accumulation phase. But as soon as the stock is getting extended here, you're seeing these long red candles. So that's a little bit concerning. But now if we can make it over the previous like high in the space, that would be a possible buy point. 957 through there. Yes, something with this stock, whenever it gets over that upper Bollinger Band, man, it just whips right back into the trend. Let's see. Yeah, I got stopped out on OEG as well. You're gonna get stopped out on some. DNN. Yeah, so I don't trade stocks under $5. Very, very rarely. I'd say last year I took maybe like 4 or 5 trades under $5, but never under 3. So lots of volume coming out here. If it keeps coming out, maybe a high tight flag will form, but I'm definitely not buying a stock this extended because if you apply a 5% stop loss to that, you're going to get stopped out on a normal pullback. Yeah, GRWG's been a monster. GRWG. Good shakeout today. Yeah, if that can tighten up a little bit more. See the average true range ATR, that's so elevated. Lots of volatility here. Let's give that a little bit of room to tighten up. FSR. That's interesting. Got out. Nothing really to comment on that. RIOT. Man, that's been a monster, right? That was on the breakout watch list last week. Gapped up over the buy point that I was looking at, 24.74. So I didn't personally take the trade, and kicking myself on that one because that would have been 170%. But you're never not going to know that it's going to do this. But man, this kind of move, you better be selling some into strength because just like when FUBO just took off, you have a lot of gaps in the chart. Volume's really starting to pick up. We're well above the upper Bollinger Bands. Those are extending like crazy. You're going to get a strong pullback here in the next couple of days. So make sure you're booking some gains, well-deserved gains, but this doesn't just go straight up. So if you're new to trading, set some stop losses so you don't give back all your profits on this one. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are just talking RIOT. That's awesome. Yeah, skills, SKLZ. I bought this trade right on this turn, so have a nice profit. Took some profit all the way. Well, first on the first day, first 25% there, second 25% on this extension. So only half size position left, maybe even a little bit less. I think I took some off during the pullback here, but not bad. Lower volume compared to that breakout, sitting on the 8-day exponential moving average. Nice long lower wick today before rallying back up, closing above the 8-day. Does have this mini volume shelf here. If you're looking to take the trade, just let's see, 40.19, 40.19. You have 2 daily highs right at the same spot, coinciding with the end of that volume shelf right there. I might actually look to add on to this if we break 40.19. Just put back on the money that I took off because I like to do that. You get a stock to break out, you take profit, protect your entry, and then when it pulls back, tightens up, and shows that like the pure risk of pulling all the way back to your entry is done, then you could trade it again, just like a new trade. But you're adding on with a smaller stop loss or a tighter stop loss than your entry. Right now, my stop's at the low here, right? Something around there, 35 or so, 34.99. But if I take this trade with a break over 40.19, I'm putting a tighter stop, 5% or so on the addition, and leave the rest of my trade at 34.99. But love this move. You got the 250, 28 all in the right order. Really strong right now. All right, SUNW. Yeah, so good volume on the up days here. Good volume on the bounce. Now we're just kind of trading trading down. Oh, tell me we undercut that. I don't think we did. 1590. Yeah, if we could get one more flush under here where we break under the low. I didn't draw that perfectly. That looks kind of crooked. But if we could break under the low here, one pullback by that Richard Moglin talks about is where you undercut the low in the pullback, and then after it rallies up through that price, so 1519 here, you could put the trade on and then use a really tight stop to say, is that actually like just a quick flush and then we're going? And that, with a powerful name like this, with the volume doing the right things, that could be a possible entry point. So thanks for bringing this up. I'm going to write this one down, SUNW. We'll keep an eye on that, set some alerts. Neo, yeah. So I got stopped out of the rest of my Neo trade today. I only had about a quarter size position left. That pivot right through there. So my buy point was on the 9th as we came over 59.52. Sold some into strength. Half stop at my entry. The remaining bit just got stopped out at the open today, 58. So probably made a little bit of money on the trade, but now this is kind of in no man's land. It's got to work its way back over the 8-day, over the 20-day. Or maybe it's waiting for the 50-day to come up, test that before moving higher. But either way, it's showing relative weakness in a market that's getting a little bit weaker. So wasn't too mad about getting stopped out of that now. If it firms up and goes again, we get some big volume days on a green day, then I'll take another look at it. But for now, not really focusing on that. Hey, Joey, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that. Let's take a look at MDXG. Yeah, I think I had this on a watch list before, but then we undercut that, bounced off. Let's see, what are we off the high now? Only 14% down. Yeah, this sitting right on the 20-day at or above the main part of that volume shelf. This could be a nice pullback buy, actually. Really light volume today. Let's see if I hide those two. Yeah, so what I'm going to be waiting for is basically either the price to get over this higher volume selling day on the 11th. Let's see, what price would that be? 1028 as a possible buy point, or a higher volume move out of here. So if we like undercut the low and then rally and take over the high with high volume, high daily volume, then you could get aggressive with your entry. But in a market that's showing some weakness, I'm going to be a little bit more careful with everything. BNGO we covered. Let's see. Yeah, let's wrap it up with NNDM. So this is a trade that I took today and got stopped out today. This is a name that I've been waiting to get a trade on for a while now. So when I had the chance, yesterday's candle, we undercut a lot of the lows in this pullback, rallied right at the 20-day, and then what did we do? We opened inside this candle, made the daily low of like, is at 14.8 because that was my stop. So right through here was the daily low early on in the day, and then we rallied over the previous high and over the 15-day. So I put that trade on with a break over 15.15, and I did so with a pretty good amount of size because I just slid my stop loss at the low of the day, which was 1480 at the time. So that's a 2 point something percent stop loss. So because I was keeping my risk so small, I was able to put large size on. And immediately when I got in, it started looking like it was working. It went from 15.15 to 15.48. I was up 2% on the trade. Probably should have moved half my stop to entry on there, just being more defensive. But this was a name that I have been wanting to be in for a while now. So tried to jump the gun a little bit, and 14.54 now, so it came back a little bit. Definitely one that I'll be watching. Maybe if we can get over today's high, 15.48, possible buy point, or you got this 2-day pivot, 16.10, 16.14. Maybe I'll do half buy there, half buy with that pivot. Yeah, if we could get over. I like the way I played the trade. That's something that you guys should do too. Like if you put on a trade and you stick to your plan, have tight risk management, and you get stopped out, it's not a bad thing to get stopped out. That's just the market telling you that now is not the right time. But if you put on a trade, never put a stop loss, and then get killed when the market dumps, that's going to feel way worse and be worse for your consistent trading along the way. So taking small losses, that's what keeps you consistent as a trader, and not just consistent with your profit and your account, with your account size, but also mentally. Like coming back after taking a huge loss, you're not going to be confident in your trading strategy. You're going to be much quicker to take profits on stocks that are set up for really strong moves, and you're more likely to take larger losses again. So get in the habit of taking those quick, smaller losses, and patting yourself on the back for just doing the right thing and sticking to your trading, your risk management. Wait, so maybe discuss CR. Okay, we'll do these two. CRMD. Yeah, I was thinking of having this on the list actually. See, what was the high? 15.11 today. 15.10 right there. Yeah, this could actually work. Man, ideally we get the rest of this week trading sideways down to really set the trade up as price tightens up. But big volume on the way out here. What did this go from? So it had 100% move up. Whoops. 26%. So technically not a high, basically a high type flag. Yeah, if this can have one more pullback and then really break through that 15.11 mark with volume, I like the volume coming out here, but we did have similar volume selling here. So this is me being careful. I might give this a couple days. If we open lower or if we take out the low of the day, then that 15.11 immediately becomes a possible buy point. But if we just open higher, I'm not going to be chasing the name. But let me write that one down too. CRMD. All right, and VIR. Yeah, I don't know about this. Usually a bar like this, down 41% from that. This is looking nice. Let's see, high 81.70, 81.48. Good volume coming out. Yeah, another one that's like I would love to take if we didn't have this reversal through here. Don't know exactly what happened there. Maybe it's just an E-Trade thing. I'll try a different trading platform to see if it's there. But man, yeah, two good ones. I'm gonna write this one down too. Keep an eye on it. Good stocks, Terry. All right, that's gonna be the Midweek Movers live stream. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video. Share it with any friends that want to get into stock trading and not just the to the moon stuff that you've been hearing about. But tune in Friday for the trading recap and Sunday morning for the breakout watch list for the upcoming week. Follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. Have a great night.